Hello, welcome, everyone. How are you doing today? Happy Monday! Yay! All right, want to make sure we're all doing great. As you all are tuning in, give me a hey, hi, let me know where you're joining from. I am coming to you all by way of Texas. The weather is like colder than usual out here. Weird weather. It was just like 90 some degrees, and then it went down to like the 50s. So it's like cold. Let me know where you all are joining in from. I love to give you all a shout out. We're just going to get right into it today. 3 ways women made history using manifestation. And I'm going to specifically talk about women of color and Black women who made history using manifestation in their business and career. In their business and careers. Let me tell you all why I decided to do this. I decided to do this. I don't know if you all heard what's been going on. I read an article that said experts are saying now that nearly 600,000 Black women and women of color have been removed from the workforce in the last 18 months. 600,000. That is a huge number. Just a few months ago, they were saying 300,000. Now, upwards of 600,000. I am sharing this with you all because I want you to know, regardless of this administration and its policies, it cannot control you. It cannot cancel your calling. It cannot void your vision. You have the power to control your livelihood in your business and your career. I'm specifically going to be focusing a lot on business too. I don't know if you all have noticed, but I've been kind of pivoting a little bit. In the past, I have been all about careers. Recently, I have shifted and pivoted to help you all with your businesses. This is where it is for a couple of reasons, to be honest. One, I have had my own business for the last nearly 10 years. When I was heavy in the workforce, I always had a business. I had a side business. It wasn't my primary income, but I had a side business. And then my business became my primary income. So I'm sharing with you all from my professional experience. And I've seen the power of vision and manifestation when it comes to business and how we can create our own money. Because here's the thing, too, nobody's coming to save us. If you're a Black woman and you're a woman of color, here's the honest truth: no one is coming to save us. But the truth also is that you can save yourself. You do not need to be a victim of circumstance. They cannot cancel your calling. They can't void your vision. This is you. You can create the life and the business that you desire and demand. You can do this. So, although no one's coming to save us, we actually don't need them to save us. We can save ourselves. And we are not just going to be surviving, we can thrive. Will these be some challenging years? Yes. Can we still be happy? Can we still be productive? Can we still have successful businesses? Yes. This is why I was like, I've had this pivot and shift on my heart for a while, but with everything happening, I was like, now is the time. My people need me. You all need to hear this message. So please share this out with any Black woman, any woman of color, whether she's going through something in her career, whether she's looking for a pivot, whether she's looking to start a business or grow the business she has. You want to hear this. And the reason women in history are so important is because we can learn lessons from them. And when I say history, you guys, some of the people on my list are still alive, okay? But we can learn lessons from them. And I am also going to be speaking to you about my personal experience. I had a vision for my business, this type of business I wanted. I was not living that vision. I was working all the time. I was making excuses why I couldn't do things with my son and my family. And I was like, my business is running me, and instead of me running my business. And I started my business for freedom, not for just financial stability. I wanted the finances and the freedom. And a stark revelation came to me when my mother was diagnosed with a terminal illness right during 2020, right when all the world shut down. And I had to figure out a way to have my dream life because I wanted to be there for my mother. My son's daycare shut down. So I also had to be and wanted to be there for my son as well as build my business. And what I learned is that everything that they taught us, not for us. And you guys, this is coming from someone. I have a business degree. So let me just start there. I actually have a degree in business and know all the formal ways. There's a different way that women of color need to work their business so the business will work for you and your lifestyle. Okay? And so I'm going to share this with you all because I was able to grow my business from zero. I started from zero, nothing, all the way to a multiple six-figure business. I had $150,000 years, $200,000. Like this is coming in while I am still raising I have three kids, but my son is in the house, raising my son, being a wife, volunteering, traveling, helping my clients get amazing results. You can have that dream life. One particular month, after I had a few slow months, I was like, you know what? I want to manifest $40,000. I wanted $40,000 in my business. And I was like, I don't want to launch. I don't want to do a bunch of crazy stuff. I don't want to be on social media every minute of the day. And so, what worked for me was manifestation. I was in a manifestation course. I created my own manifestation techniques that worked for me and felt good. I focused on my vision. I meditated, and I was able to generate $40,000 in 1 month. In 1 month. All right. If you all like, Latrice, I am loving this, girl. How did you do this? Right. I am actually doing a free workshop next Thursday on the 16th on how I manifested $40,000 in 1 month as a woman of color business owner. If you're interested in attending that free workshop, just put pivot in the comments and we will send you all the link and then you can register and you'll get access to that, as well as you'll get access to that workshop as well as some of my freebies. I'm going to be doing some more private workshops, some Q&As for you all that are now on LinkedIn that are exclusive to my email list. So if you're interested in that, just put pivot in the comments. Okay, then we're going to go ahead. I want to get into it. Hey, Kia, thank you for saying pivot. Hey, we're going to see that link. She said, oh, you said, let's go. All right. She's like, let's go. Let's get it. All right. Here's my first person who used manifestation. She's like, let me who made history using manifestation. This is my favorite person is, let me see if y'all know. She's one of the first Black millionaires, one of the first self-made Black millionaires. I'm gonna see if y'all can guess first. Do y'all know who I'm talking about? Miss Madam CJ Walker. Let me tell you all how much I love. On my own, I did a research project of Miss CJ Walker. If you have not already, there is it's not really a documentary, but there's a movie of her life, like a limited series on Netflix, and that shows a lot of it, but not even quite. On my own, I went to the library and learned so much about this woman. When I tell you she had a vision, when we look at what is going on in the world right now compared to what she couldn't even vote. She had very limited legal rights. She was already making so much money. And I read this story that like she went to the movie theater. She wanted to see a movie and they declined her. I think at that time the movie was like a quarter or whatever. And she was like, well, I can pay more. I can pay double. And they were like, it's not your money, it's your color. Do you know what this woman did? Do you know what Miss Madam CJ Walker did? She actually said, bet. No doubt, I will create my own theater. She built and created her own like entertainment center for the community. For the community. And she put her name on it. She still has organizations and buildings to this day with her name on it. I didn't know this until I started researching her. The movie doesn't, if you watch the movie and things like that, they don't show this. But I was like, wow, imagine that vision to be like, oh, you said me no. You told me no. No doubt, boo. I'll build my own. I will build my own and I'll put my name on it. I'll put my name on it. And she actually had a clause in her will and that she created that this will always be run by a Black woman. So I think even till this day, the I think it's a nonprofit, like the executive director is a Black woman. So you talk about somebody having a vision. We hear so much about her business. Yes. What she did for Black women, not just the hair products, but her business structure, you guys, that's all vision. She had warehouses. Like when I read up on exactly what she did, and I recommend you all to watch the movie, the limited series, but it does not do her justice. She says, "Oh yeah," she says, this has to be my energy in 2026. Yes, 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 yes. I am telling you all. Um, when I say this is how it needs to be, because when you think of Miss Madam CJ Walker and everything she had to deal with, she didn't even have half the rights or legal standing that we had, and she was able to build an empire, a business empire. But she also built things in her community that are still standing to this day. And she actually passed away very young. I think she was maybe in her 40s. Like she was a pretty young person when she died, and she had a will, she had all of her things in order. That shows you how quickly this woman went from poverty from poverty to $1 million, from poverty to $1 million. And everything I've read about her and watched, she had a vision and she took very specific actions to create that vision. And she even helped her community. That was some of the things that get lost when we talk about um being one of the first Black self-made millionaires. I don't think she was actually the first. People say that a lot. I think it was like one or two other women that were the first. I believe she was the first one who did it in this particular way with her business, but she employed hundreds of other Black women. This is what I mean by making history. As far as I can tell, she was one of the first people who had um like direct selling marketing, right? Like she hired other women. She didn't just have these great hair products, but she also allowed these women to make money from what they were selling. How many of us are buying things that we ain't making a dime off of, or buying and supporting companies and organizations that don't support us? This is what I mean by making history. There's still a building and an organization with her name on it till this day. She's having movies made about her till this very day. But she started off with a vision. I want to say I read like how poor she really was. I think her parents were slaves, but she was like extremely poor, had failed marriages, abuse, like you name it, she had it. No rights, limited resources, and she had this vision so strong. Not only was she able to support herself, she was also able to support her community, which allowed them to then support themselves and support other people and created this domino effect. Amazing. If you all have the chance, again, watch the movie. The movie doesn't do it justice. If you can like grab a book, even an audio book, to learn more about Miss CJ, Miss Madam, Miss Madam CJ Walker, you will see exactly how amazing the things that she did was. And she, from what I could tell, she talked a lot about her vision, her dream, her future. Again, not just for her, but for her people. But for her people, she stood up to other men. Um, like she was going to these it was one story where she went to a conference which was with all Black men, and she stood up and was like, "Well, what about the women? What about this?" This is how you make history. Yes, you can start with like, I need to put money in my pocket to feed the family. Yes. And then your vision can be so much bigger. You think it's 2026 and we're still talking about her. Kids are still doing reports on her in school. This woman made history and she has a building still standing today with her name on it. Okay. So if you don't, please, yes, we're keeping this energy in 2026, especially as we're facing policies that are actually set out to harm us, to take things away. We need to see that, okay, they playing, they're tripping, they don't really know who we are or how strong we are, but they can't cancel our calling. And we will still succeed and we will still live in abundance. All right. So that's my number one. Again, if you're like Latrice, I'm loving this, and you all want to attend my workshop on Thursday, April 16th, 7 p.m. Eastern, on how I manifested $40,000 in 1 month as a woman of color business owner. Put pivot in the comments and we'll go ahead and send you that. I'm gonna look at my notes. Okay, my next person. All right. Y'all know I love this. Okay. Miss Oprah Winfrey. You talk about somebody who made history. I bought my son a book on Oprah Winfrey. I admire Oprah Winfrey so much. I bought my son a book on her. I don't think that women making history for me is just for women. I think this can even go beyond. But one of the things Oprah always had from when she was an anchor, she had a vision and she knew what she was going to manifest. Oprah always talked about owning her, having things of her own. And Oprah put her name on everything. Everything. So we can tell what Oprah created and what she manifested because it literally has her name on it. But Oprah, again, was somebody grew up in poverty, limited rights, abuse, right? Someone who was fired and was like, you know what, Bet, I'm going to still work on this. And so many of us right now may be going through layoffs, career pivots, struggling, uncertainty. I'm sharing these stories with you all. These are things you can look up yourself to be like, okay, this is how these women use their vision, use manifestation techniques to get exactly what they want. And I think Oprah is one of the few like Black self-made billionaires with a B, with a B, with a B. Okay. Oprah is making history and still continuing to be involved in things. Miss Oprah Winfrey is still alive. So this isn't like someone who lived 100 years ago or who has now passed on to glory. Miss Oprah Winfrey is still alive. We can look her up and see what she's doing. Miss Oprah Winfrey always is someone who continues to create and manifest her vision. I follow her on Instagram, like I know Miss O, right? But she's always talking about her visions, her manifestation, what she sees for the future, not just for herself, but her people, right? Even beyond her immediate community, even beyond her family. This is where we need to be. We need to look at these people and be like, okay, what exactly did they do? Like again, I have researched, I have read, I read books, but I also get my child books. I'm like, they did not just work hard. They had a vision. They took strategic action. Oprah is very big on mindset. If you listen to any of her, she has she has two podcasts. She has like Super Soul Sunday and something else. Oprah has magazines, but she's always talking about mindset, wealth, health, mental health, vision. These are things that are important to her. And you can see these are the things that help her make history, that help her not just create her dream life and her dream business, but she is now creating history. So now she can she can help someone else achieve their dream. All right. I want you all to think about this. These are people, these are women that we can see today. Right. And so one of the things I noticed that Miss Oprah always did is Oprah is someone who was very visible. Like she was very visible and she believed in owning her own stuff. And I saw that one time and she was like, somebody gave her that advice and she did it. So she literally owns everything, but she did show up. She's very visible. And I'm not saying you have to have your own show or be on LinkedIn every day, but how can you show up for yourself and your people in your way? That's the lesson I want you to take from that. That's the way. right? How can you show up? Right. So think about that. Not just who these women are, but how. What are the ways that they made history? Oprah's ways was consistently showing up and owning everything that she touched. Everything that she touched. I'll quickly share this story and then I'll give one more example of like ownership. The women in my family believe in owning houses. My mom bought her first house at 18 years old. Can you believe that? 18 years old, she bought her first house. I bought my house, my first property at 26 years old. So I was young. I had already had kids by then, 2 kids, but I bought my first house by myself at 26 years old because I understood that ownership was important. I got married, moved to a different state, and everybody was like, sell your house, sell your house, sell your house. I even had people tell me, like, even if you have to take a loss, it's so much better, sell your house, right? I was like, I don't think so. Again, ownership. I knew ownership was the way. I was like, I don't think so. I think I want to keep it and rent it out. I was like, it's gonna be so hard. I was like, again, you don't have to make things hard. I was like, I don't think so. How can I make this? How can I make it easier? First year was hard because I lived in a different state. I eventually got a property manager. It was fine. Fast forward, that was 10 years ago. My property has quadrupled its value. Quadrupled its value from what I paid, quadrupled. Okay. Like my kids always make fun and be like, Mom, you bought your house for like lit pennies and strawberries, right? That's another thing. They were like, I was like, no, back then it was a lot of money. I was very young. It was a lot of money. But because I decided to trust myself, invest in myself, and keep ownership, I now have an asset that is significantly higher than I bought it for and significantly higher than what I still owe on the mortgage. So even when other people do not understand your vision, and I knew this, I had this vision of what it could be. Even if other people do not understand your vision, that is okay. Okay. So remember that ownership, remember being visible to the people that it matters for. Okay. My next person, I have 4 people, you guys, but I'm gonna switch this up. Miss Viola Davis. Are you all familiar with Viola Davis? And she's got the EGOT. And Viola is very outspoken about how she creates what she wants. Very, very outspoken about how she creates what she wants. This is another way that you can manifest, right? Is by speaking into existence what you want and not letting anyone deter you from that. But she has been very outgoing about the salary she wants, about the awards that she has won and want to win, and how she got that, the movie roles that she accepts, things that she feels is made for her, which and things that are not for her. She's a very good discernment, but she's also very vocal. It is okay. I hear people always talk about like move in silence. If you around people that you can't share your goals and dreams with, then why are you around those people? You should be able to clearly speak and manifest what it is that you want. You want a new job, you want to make 6 figures, speak it out. I have a 6 figure job. Speak it out. One of the things that I do, and I always recommend my clients do, is I have affirmations on my bathroom mirror of what I want, the new identity that I have, right? So if you want a 6 figure business, put it out there. I have a 6 figure business. Speak it, see it, remind yourself every day. Again, if you are around people and and you feel like you are forced to move in silence, I would be like, why am I around these people if I cannot share my goals? Again, I'm not saying telling you to cut anybody off. You may just need to expand your audience. You may need to find people who are supportive of you, who will listen to your goals and be like, yeah, boo, here's a way I can help you. When I first told someone like, hey, I'm doing this pivot, they were like, oh, you know what? You should meet this person. They would like love this service that you're offering. Oh, you should meet this one. Like that's what you want. You want to be able to speak your goals into existence. And this is what you're going to find is a common thread among a lot of women who have made history and who manifest is that they will tell you up front what they're going to do. One of my other people I have on here, Serena Williams, but I'm gonna keep it till 3. But she'll tell you, like, when she was winning, when she was on her game, she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna win this. I'm gonna do this. I can visualize. I see it." And like she'd be like, "I knew when it started, I was gonna win." Yes. 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 That's the energy we want. Like I knew when it started, I was a winner. I'm winning. It is okay. And it should be encouraged to speak what you want into existence. All right. All right. I'm going to wrap this up. Let me know what you all thought about those tips, about the women that I mentioned and the unique ways that they used manifestation to make history. Again, yes, Kia, this is the energy we are keeping all 2026, that we are here. We will be thriving, not just surviving. We're going to be doing line dances, making money, and manifesting, okay? And having our dream business. Again, if you're like Latrice, I'm all for it. I want to hear more. Join my workshop, How I Manifested $40,000 in 1 month as a woman of color business owner. That's going to be on next Thursday, April the 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Just put pivot in the comments. Let me put my little thing that says what to do. Okay. Just put pivot in the comments. Oh, why is it? Okay, I had to change it. And we will get that for you all. If you have any questions for me, feel free to message me. Feel free to put them in the comments. I get a lot, so I try to respond as soon as I can, but feel free to communicate. I want to know, what are you all feeling about what's going on right now? Are you feeling optimistic? Are you feeling a little down? Are you like, girl, this is we in uncharted territory? Because our people have been through more. We've been through way worse than this. All right. Not saying that we wanted to get worse, but we have survived. This is why it's so important to know your history, because you will know that, first of all, the playbook is old. The playbook is old, and we will always survive and thrive. You all have a great Monday, and I will see you all next week. Bye.